My plans when I'm finally getting a break. My plans when I'm competing in video games. People watching them to make sure they lose. Whatever England is doing, me trying to do my work, knowing that. Hawk to our girl already made more money than I'll do my entire life. Me leading my dad's funeral and asking myself to give the eulogy. Toxic parents when you lived with them. Toxic parents after you left the home. Why don't my kids speak with me? Highly paid economists explaining that there are no fiscal contractions. The teenager working behind the counter. 8-year-old me asking what I can buy with my skee-ball tickets. Start your free trial today. Enter your card details. 28-year-old me in the movie theater waiting for Shrek 5 to come on. Me. Visits Japan. Also me wondering if Godzilla was just a normal-sized lizard. What kind of woman always knows where her husband is? A widow. Scam texts, calls. You can't defeat me. Millennials and Gen Z. I know. But he can. Social anxiety. How I feel after watching a YouTube video and successfully changing out the ignition in my Honda Accord when you're liberated from Imperial Japan by the Soviet Union. Me after putting a polar bear and a hippo in the same enclosure. Let them fight. Secret Service. Uvalde Police Department. Being utterly shit at their jobs when it counts. The pagan leader teaching me their rain dance. Me who keeps messing it up and it rains frogs. When your fellow Democrats ask you to withdraw from the presidential race. No, I don't think I will. I'm driving on the highway and my friend who is sitting next to me wants to play some music. I see kerosene in my friend's playlist. Biden hanging out with people in their 70s. How do you do? Fellow kids. Point of view. You decided to let them text first. How sellers think we see the price tag. $2. $1.99. Worrying about your financial future. Waiting for society's inevitable collapse where money will no longer matter. Me calling my boss on his vacation just like he did on mine. What do you mean they missed? Fighting Terminids on higher difficulties. Fighting automatons on higher difficulties. When you replay a game from your childhood and finally realize how good the writing is. My God, I get it. Me carrying bird flu into work after the company issued a return to office policy. When we make first contact with aliens, how much is a gram over there? Las Vegas. Records extreme heat. Me, who went through Pompeii. Pathetic. How boxers and MMA fighters be looking after a 10-year career. When Europeans travel in America and go to pay the restaurant bill without tip. We don't do that here. My face when I see Ash pull out his Pokédex to identify a Pokemon he's already battled countless times in the previous region. Deterioration. Cable. Streaming. Cable. Streaming. Streaming. Movie superheroes. No problem, kid. Woof. Thanks for saving my dog, sir. Real superheroes. Yeah, sure. You have the right to remain silent. But that woman needs my help. My face when a LGBT character has a strong personality of her own and is not a stereotypical character rep made for good publicity. How medical receptionists stare at you when you've been the only person waiting there for 5 minutes. When they go from choosing the bear to Hawktua, spit on that thing. I love democracy. Zack Snyder. To understand the film, you need to see the director's cut. Why didn't you publish it in the first place? The rich friend when somebody calls him rich. You hear Funky Town while you are outside? You remember that you live in Mexico? Actually try and make good movies again. Make poorly written and unoriginal movies for the sole purpose of money. Disney. Bro, my humor is peak, bro. Bro's humor. My daughter is a sweet little angel. Ramstein echoing from her bedroom. Can you stop adding useless features for 5 minutes? Car seat belts. Move too fast and your shoulder is locked in place. Airplane seat belts. Let me loosely hold you where your body folds best. The world if restaurants gave staff a sales commission instead of tips. Your next task is to live off McDonald's without going into debt. My European friend diligently keeping track of his cart to make sure he has enough money to pay for everything. Sales tax. SpaceX these last few weeks launched several huge new spaceships and Falcons too. Boeing's these last few weeks. Wah, my airplanes keep crashing, my whistleblowers keep dying, and my astronauts are stuck in space. People who cook at home giving advice to people claiming McDonald's prices are too high. The waiter who is expecting a 30% tip. Traveling in the US and having just enough euros to cover the meal. Kids watching the school janitor hammering the 10 commandments onto their classroom wall. A rich history of quality debates between presidential candidates. Whatever that just was. A Kia Soul riding the passing lane. You can't defeat me. Me trying to get home. I know, but he can. The Tesla that's been riding my ass for 30 miles. Florida police when an unmarried woman skydives on a Sunday. Asian women needing a green card. 50-year-old divorced white guys. The genie looking at me after I wished for all suicidal people to be immortal. Babe, don't worry, yours is the perfect size. The big ones hurt. Me when I have perfectly complied with the police. But hear an acorn fall from a tree. Plastic surgeons, after convincing a normal-looking person that they're hideous, and then transforming them into Michael Jackson from Thriller. When my French friend is about to ask the waiter for shredded cheese, and I know he doesn't know the word for shredded. How I look at bro after he screams, "Someone here is a chicken to the cartel who just decided to spare our lives. Trying to get a job as a convicted felon. No, how could I ever trust you to handle burgers or take orders? Protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. Companies, we aren't overpricing things, it's simply inflation. Coffee, small $99.99 90 cal. Your favorite game is getting a remake. The story will be adapted for modern audiences. Recognizing single fathers on Mother's Day. Recognizing single mothers on Father's Day. Saudi Arabia's health minister has praised the successful execution of health management efforts during Hajj, despite the deaths of over 1,300 people. We did it, Patrick. We saved Hajj. Thinking about addiction as a kid, I'd never succumb to such frivolous activities. Addiction as adult. If I don't find my vape, I'm literally driving this car into oncoming traffic. Me. Misgenders water. Duolingo. You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Weight training until failure. Running until failure. When you find the kid that reminded the teacher about the homework from last night. My patriotism usually. My patriotism as soon as somebody from another country talks shit about my country. Apple. We're introducing a new way to customize your home screen on iOS, where you can arrange your apps anywhere on your display. Meanwhile, Android. Pathetic. The guy muting the mics after 20 minutes of the debate. Russian Foreign Ministry. Retaliatory measures will certainly follow. Russian military.